Imagine you are running a race. You are running as fast as you can. You are sweating. Your muscles are burning, and you are giving it everything you have. You can see the finish line right there in front of you. It's a bright red ribbon. You think, if I just push a little harder, I'll cross it. I'll finally be done. I'll finally be able to rest. So you sprint. You push past your limits, but then something strange happens. Just as you are about to touch the ribbon, it moves. The finish line jumps 10 feet back. You are confused, but you keep running. You think, okay, just 10 more feet. You run the 10 feet. The line moves again. Now it's 50 feet away. This keeps happening for miles, for years. You never stop running. You never cross the line. And worst of all, you never feel like you've actually accomplished anything. You just feel tired. This is exactly what it feels like to chase perfection. We live in a world that tells us we are projects to be fixed. We are told that if we just buy the right clothes, get the right job, lose that extra weight, or read enough books, we will finally be enough. We treat ourselves like broken machines that need to be repaired. We think that one day, if we work hard enough, we will reach a state of flawlessness. We think we will finally be perfect. But there is a dark truth hiding behind all that effort. It is a paradox that ruins lives, but nobody talks about it. The truth is this: the more you try to be perfect, the more you highlight your imperfections. The harder you try to fix yourself, the more broken you feel. Today, we are going to stop running that race. We are going to look at why you feel like you are never doing enough, even though you are trying your hardest. We are going to talk about the voice in your head that criticizes your every move. And we are going to find a way to silence it, not by doing more, but by understanding why we started running in the first place. Let's start with that voice. You know the one. It wakes up with you in the morning. You look in the mirror, and before you can even wash your face, the voice starts. It says, "You look tired. You should have gone to bed earlier. Look at that spot on your skin. You need to fix that." You go to work or school, and you send an email. The voice says, "That sounded stupid. They are going to think you aren't smart. Why didn't you use a better word?" You come home and the house is a bit messy. The voice says, "You are lazy. A successful person wouldn't live like this." This voice is the inner critic. For perfectionists, this critic is a bully, but here's the tricky part. We think this bully is helping us. We think that if we didn't have this voice yelling at us, we would never get anything done. We think we would just sit on the couch all day and do nothing. We believe that being hard on ourselves is the fuel for our success, but that is a lie. Research actually shows the opposite. When you are constantly criticizing yourself, your brain enters a state of threat. It's like being chased by a bear, except the bear is in your own head. When you are under threat, your brain releases stress chemicals like cortisol. This actually makes it harder to think clearly, harder to be creative, and harder to find motivation. So when you beat yourself up for not being perfect, you are actually making it harder to do a good job. It is a self-fulfilling prophecy. You are terrified of failing, so you stress yourself out, which makes you more likely to make a mistake, which makes you criticize yourself more. It is a cycle. But where does it come from? Why do we do this to ourselves? Babies aren't born thinking they aren't enough. A baby doesn't cry and then think, "Oh man, that was a terrible cry. I sound so needy. My parents must hate me." No, they just are. They exist. They feel worthy of love just because they are alive. Somewhere along the way, we lost that. For many of us, it started in childhood. Maybe you had parents who only praised you when you got good grades. Maybe you were only noticed when you were being good, quiet, or helpful. You learned a very dangerous equation. You learned that love equals achievement. You learned that you are not valuable just because you exist. You are only valuable because of what you do. You became a human doing, not a human being. This sets up a conditional life. I will feel good about myself if I get an A. I will let myself rest if I finish the whole cleaning list. I will be happy when I get that promotion. This is called the if-then trap, and it is the primary engine of perfectionism. We hold our own happiness hostage. We tell ourselves we aren't allowed to feel good until we reach the goal. But remember the race at the beginning? The goal moves. Let's say you want to lose weight. You think, when I lose 10 pounds, I'll finally feel confident. So you diet, you exercise, you struggle. You lose 10 pounds. Do you suddenly feel a permanent sense of peace and worthiness? Usually, no. You look in the mirror and think, well, maybe if I lost 5 more and now I need to tone my arms. The bar for enough always rises to match your effort. This is why high achievers are often the unhappiest people. They are climbing a mountain that has no top. This feeling of inadequacy is heavy. It feels like carrying a backpack full of rocks, and the more you try to be perfect, the more rocks you put in the bag. You start to obsess over details that don't matter. You replay conversations in your head for days. You procrastinate because you are so afraid of doing a bad job that you can't even start. That's a big one, procrastination. People think procrastination is about being lazy. It's not. Procrastination is almost always about fear. It is a protection mechanism. If you don't do the project, you can't fail at it. If you don't try, you can't be judged. The perfectionist would rather get a 0, they didn't. Turn it in, then got a C because they tried and weren't perfect. Because a 0 just means you didn't try. A C means you tried and you weren't enough. And that is the perfectionist's greatest fear, being exposed as not enough. This brings us to the concept of the shadow. In psychology, the shadow is the part of ourselves we want to hide. It's the parts of us that are messy, angry, jealous, scared, or weak. The perfectionist spends all their energy trying to hide the shadow. They create a mask of the perfect person. This mask is always smiling. This mask is always productive. This mask never gets tired. This mask has the perfect relationship and the clean house. We wear this mask on social media. We curate our lives to look effortless. But wearing a mask is exhausting. It takes so much energy to pretend to be perfect that you have no energy left to actually enjoy your life. And the saddest part is that this mask pushes people away. Think about the people you love the most. Do you love them because they are perfect? Do you love your best friend because their kitchen floor is always clean? Do you love your partner because they never say the wrong thing? No, you love them because they are real. You love them for their quirks. You love them because they are human. Vulnerability, showing your flaws, is what creates connection. When someone admits they are struggling, you feel closer to them. You think, me too. But when you try to be perfect, you become a statue. You are smooth and hard and cold. People can admire a statue, but they can't hug it. They can't connect with it. So the more you try to be perfect to get people to like you, the more lonely you become. You end up surrounded by people who admire your mask, but nobody knows the real you. And that is a very lonely place to be. So we have established that perfectionism is a trap. It hurts your performance, it ruins your happiness, and it damages your relationships. But how do we stop? How do we get off the hamster wheel? The first step is to understand the difference between healthy striving and perfectionism. They look similar on the outside, but they are totally different on the inside. Healthy striving is focused on you. It's about asking, how can I improve? How can I learn? It's driven by curiosity and a desire to grow. If you fail, it hurts, but you think, okay, what can I learn from this? Perfectionism is focused on others. It's about asking, what will they think of me? It is driven by fear and a desire to avoid judgment. If you fail, you don't think, I made a mistake. You think, I am a mistake. We need to shift from perfectionism to healthy striving. We need to move from fixing to growing. Imagine a gardener. A gardener doesn't look at a rose bush and scream at it for not blooming fast enough. They don't try to paint the leaves green if they are brown. They look at the soil. They check the water. They give it sunlight. They nurture it. They understand that growth takes time and that seasons change. Sometimes the plant blooms, sometimes it rests. Both are necessary. You are a garden, not a machine. You have seasons. You cannot be in full bloom 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. It is biologically impossible. Yet, that is what we demand of ourselves. We get angry when we need to sleep. We feel guilty when we take a break. We need to start treating ourselves with the same patience a gardener treats their plants. This brings us to a powerful tool called self-compassion. Now, I know that sounds soft, and like it sounds like letting yourself off the hook, but it's actually the secret weapon for high achievers. Self-compassion has 3 parts. First is mindfulness. This means just noticing how you feel without judging it. Instead of saying, I shouldn't be sad, you say, I am feeling sad right now, and that's okay. The second part is common humanity. This is realizing that you are not alone. When you make a mistake, you usually feel like the only idiot in the world. Common humanity reminds you that every single human being on this planet makes mistakes. You are just part of the club. Failure isn't a sign that something is wrong with you. It's a sign that you are a human being trying to do something. The third part is self-kindness. This is talking to yourself like you would talk to a friend. If your best friend came to you and said, I really messed up at work today, would you say, yeah, you're so stupid, you should probably just quit? No. You would say, hey, it happens. You've been working hard. You'll fix it tomorrow. Why can't we give ourselves that same grace? When you practice self-compassion, something amazing happens. You stop being afraid of failure because you know that if you fail, You won't beat yourself up. You will be there to catch yourself. And when you aren't afraid of failure, you can take bigger risks. You can be more creative. You can actually achieve more, but without the stress and burnout. Let's get practical. How do we apply this to our daily lives? One way is to embrace the concept of the good enough. This doesn't mean settling for mediocrity. It means recognizing the law of diminishing returns. Imagine you are cleaning your kitchen. To get it 80% clean takes 20 minutes. It looks good, it's sanitary, it's fine. To get it 90% clean takes another 20 minutes. To get it 100% perfect, scrubbing the grout with a toothbrush, polishing the faucet, takes another 2 hours. The perfectionist spends those 2 hours on a tiny improvement that nobody else notices. The good enough person stops at 20 minutes and spends the rest of the time playing with their kids, reading or sleeping. They have reclaimed their life. You have to decide where you need to be excellent and where you can just be good enough. You cannot be excellent at everything. You cannot be the perfect employee, the perfect parent, the perfect cook, and the perfect friend all at the same time. You have to choose your battles. Maybe you decide that your work presentation needs to be excellent, but your laundry can stay in the basket for a few days. That is a trade-off. That is balance. That is reality. Another practical step is to change your relationship with should. Listen to your thoughts for the next hour. Count how many times you say the word should. I should exercise. I should call my mom. I should be more productive. Should is a shame word. It implies that you are wrong for not doing it. Try changing should to could or want to. I could exercise. Now it's a choice. It gives you power back. Or, be honest, I don't want to exercise right now. That honesty is better than the guilt of should. We also need to talk about social media. If you are struggling with feeling like you aren't enough, you have to look at what you are consuming. You are scrolling through a feed of people's best moments. You are comparing your behind-the-scenes footage with their highlight reel. If looking at certain accounts makes you feel bad about your life, unfollow them. It doesn't matter if they are inspirational. If their inspiration makes you feel like garbage, it's not inspiration. It's poison. Curate your feed to show you real people, messy lives, and things that make you laugh, not things that make you feel inadequate. Now, I want to go deeper into something called the void. Many perfectionists feel a sense of emptiness inside. They feel like a bucket with a hole in the bottom. They pour in achievements, compliments, and money trying to fill the bucket, but it all leaks out. They feel full for a moment and then empty again. This void comes from a lack of self-worth. We try to fill the void with external things, but you cannot fill an internal hole with external things. It's like trying to quench your thirst by eating salt. The only thing that can fill the bucket is self-acceptance. And self-acceptance is not something you achieve. It is something you surrender to. It means accepting that you are a messy, contradictory, unfinished work of art. It means accepting that you have a dark side and a light side. It means looking at your flaws and saying, you belong to me too. There is a Japanese concept called wabi-sabi. It is the appreciation of things that are imperfect, impermanent, and incomplete. In traditional Japanese pottery, if a bowl breaks, they don't throw it away. Sometimes they fix the crack with gold. They highlight the break. They believe the bowl is more beautiful because it has been broken. It has a history. It has a story. You are like that bowl. Your scars, your mistakes, your failures, they are the gold. They are what make you unique. A perfect person is boring. A person who has fallen and got back up, that is a person with depth. That is a person with wisdom. So stop trying to hide your cracks. Paint them with gold. Own your story. When you start to do this, you will feel a massive weight lift off your shoulders. You will realize that you don't have to carry the world. You don't have to fix everything. You don't have to be everything to everyone. You will start to notice the small joys in life again. When you are running that race, staring at the finish line, you miss the scenery. You miss the flowers on the side of the road. You miss the cheering of the crowd. You miss the feeling of the wind in your hair. When you stop running, or at least slow down to a walk, you start to see the beauty of now. You realize that happiness isn't waiting for you at the finish line. Happiness is right here, in the middle of the mess. Happiness is a cup of coffee in the morning, even if the sink is full of dishes. Happiness is a laugh with a friend, even if you have a deadline looming. Happiness is available to you right now, but you have to stop chasing the perfect future to find it. I want you to try an experiment. For the next week, try to be 10% less perfect. Send the email without reading it 5 times. Leave the bed unmade one morning. Wear the shirt that isn't perfectly ironed. And then watch what happens. Spoiler alert, nothing bad will happen. The world will not end. You will not get fired. Your friends will not leave you. In fact, you might notice that people seem more relaxed around you. When you stop holding yourself to an impossible standard, you stop holding others to it too. Your energy becomes lighter. You become safer to be around. You will realize that the cage of perfectionism wasn't locked. You are holding the door shut from the inside. You can step out whenever you want. It is scary at first. It feels like walking without a safety net, but eventually you realize the net was an illusion anyway. Control is an illusion. We can't control what people think of us. We can't control the future. We can only control how we treat ourselves in this moment. So treat yourself with kindness. Think about the legacy you want to leave. When you are 80 years old, sitting in your rocking chair, looking back on your life, what will you care about? Will you wish you had spent more time worrying about your abs? Will you wish you had spent more weekends working to impress a boss you didn't even like? Will you wish you had been more critical of yourself? No, you will wish you had laughed more. You will wish you had hugged more. You will wish you had eaten the cake, taken the trip, and allowed yourself to be happy. You will wish you had realized sooner that you were already enough. That is the ultimate secret. You are already enough, right now. Not 10 pounds from now, not a promotion from now. As you sit there listening to this with all your doubts and fears and imperfections, you are worthy of love and belonging. You don't have to earn your place in the world. You have a place in the world just because you are here. The trees produce oxygen for you without asking for a resume. The sun warms your skin. Without asking if you are productive today, the universe accepts you. It is time for you to accept yourself. It takes practice. You will slip back into old habits. The voice of the critic will come back. That's okay. When it does, just notice it. Say, I hear you. You're scared, but we're okay. Don't fight the voice. Just don't let it drive the car. You can say, thanks for the input, but I'm going to choose to be kind to myself today. Every time you choose kindness over criticism, you are rewiring your brain. You are building a new path, a path away from the exhausting race and toward a place of peace. The feeling of not enough is a lie sold to us to keep us working, buying, and fixing. It is a treadmill designed to never stop. The only way to win is to step off the treadmill. Look around, breathe. You are not a project, you are a person, and you are enough. As we come to the end of this, I want you to take a deep breath. Let your shoulders drop. Unclench your jaw. Feel the gravity holding you in your chair. That feeling of relaxation. That is who you really are. The stress is the layer on top. The peace is what is underneath. If you found yourself nodding along to this, if you felt that tightness in your chest loosen just a little bit, then you are ready to make a change. You don't have to do it all at once. Just start with one thought, one moment of kindness. And if you want to keep reminding yourself of this truth, if you want to keep rewiring your brain for peace instead of perfection, make sure you stick around. We are going to keep exploring these topics. We are going to keep peeling back the layers because the journey isn't about becoming something new. It's about unbecoming everything that isn't you so you can be who you were meant to be in the first place. You've been running for a long time. It's okay to walk now. It's okay to rest. You made it. You're here. And that is enough.